Thank you so much for this honor. Very appreciated. And I'm just glad that the work that's happening in the community is getting a lot of interest. So I wanted to tell you a bit about just where I come from. So here we go. I hope you can all hear me. Can you all hear me? Great. Well, good afternoon. As you know, my name is Jose Iniguez, and I'm deeply honored again to be here. You know, I'm a brother, a son, an uncle, a friend, and yes, a Mexican American. You know, I'm a person that has two professions. One profession is that I'm a partner in a company called Hydrotonics that imports medical devices, water devices from Japan to improve the quality of health to the public. And before I started my own business, my first tenure at a college was I worked for corporate America as a manager of Pennsylvania and upstate New York for a company of Holland America Cruise Line. You know, and working in the travel industry has allowed me to see the world by traveling to 30 countries and to over 44 states in this wonderful country of ours. You know, I learned the passion and curiosity of travel from my older sister, Alexia. She showed me to embrace this world and explore it. She was the first one to leave home to explore our world and join the Peace Corps. And she was off to Africa. She was in Africa for 2.5 years, helping the most needy on building garbage sanitation facilities and water reservoirs. Imagine, my sister, who came to this country as a young teenager, with nothing at all, still felt the need to serve others, and who worked in the fields just a couple hours from here, was able to build the courage up to do this and do this on her own. The Peace Corps taught her the importance of diversity and how to work with all types of people to build infrastructure for the future. She now puts it to use at top engineering firms in the Puget Sound, and to her credit, has permitted every single Costco gas station in North America. Yes, this is what Eastern Washington produces. Now, for my career that I'm most passionate about, as you saw, I am an award-winning opera and bolero tenor. And I've demonstrated it in numerous concerts in our beloved cities. And I'm able to perform in 5 different languages. As one of the few Latino tenors in this country, it is with great humility that I'm allowed to perform for the public. When I perform, one of my goals is to promote classical and bolero music to the public, and especially to our kids. It is vital that our kids do not forget the brilliance of our classical composers, because there will never be people like them. There will never be a Beethoven, a Mozart, a Giacomo Puccini, or a Pedro Infante, and yes, Jose Alfredo Jimenez. And I'm grateful that I'm able to perform music by these composers. But today, I stand before you as a child of immigrants. My mother was born in Cualcomán, Michoacán, and came to this country in the 1970s. My father, who was born in Trojes, Michoacán, came to this country in the early 1960s. My parents grew up in Mexico and came from similar backgrounds. My father grew up in a household of cattle raisers, and my mom grew up in the sugarcane fields of Mexico. And they did not receive the privilege of an education. In fact, both of them did not finish their elementary education. And as jobs dried up in Mexico, my father was forced to look north. I am the 7th of their 11 children, and was the last to work in the fields in my family. So I know the feeling of the apple basket, lifting the basket up and down the ladder to get the last apple from the tree, and the pain of bending over and cutting the asparagus from the ground. Yes, I know the feeling all too well. But something that I will always remember, and to this day admire about my father, is that he told us to be proud. because of the honest work we were doing. And to be proud because we were getting the life lessons of being a man or a woman in this world. And that lesson is, you have to work hard if you want to get ahead. My father didn't believe that his kids should be relaxing and watching TV at home, not if we were able to work and contribute to the household. And if we were not in school or in sports and involved in clubs, then that meant we were working in the fields. So as you can imagine, I always wanted to be in school or in sports. As a boy, I resented my father because he never allowed us to be entitled. An example of this, in the orchard where he became foreman, he had the opportunity to put us in better positions. Positions where we didn't have to work as hard. But my father would say, no. You need to know what it feels like to work like everyone else. But I would tell him, Dad, they are not your sons. And he would tell me, that is right, they are not. So you have more to prove than they do. So yes, as a boy, this affected me deeply. But now as a man, I see what he meant by proving more than they do. I had to prove that I was going to work hard so that I could surpass him. By working hard in the fields and by also working hard at school. His main rule was at 18 years old, you either go to college or you work in the fields and you start paying rent. He didn't make it easy for us because he knew that we still had much more to accomplish. One of his famous statements he would say to us when we were growing up, why do you think I brought you to this country? Then he would say, so you could do more than I could. And through my parents' efforts, I can stand here and tell you that all 11 children, from parents who came to this country with nothing all 11 children graduated from their respective high school and graduated from a 4-year degree university. In what country can a son of a migrant farm worker reach our most prestigious Ivy League universities? And for that father to bear witness in his lifetime that he produced a doctor. In no other country is this quality of my existence or the existence of my 11 siblings even possible. If someone told me that a migrant farm worker who used to sing as he thinned apples in the orchard fields of Mattawa was going to be the first Latino to have a recurring production at Benaroya Hall, or the first person to establish an endowment for Latino students at Central Washington University, and as well as at Eastern Washington University. And now, bringing the first endowment for the arts at Columbia Basin College here in Pasco. And to make things better, in 1819 year, I'll be accompanied by the symphonies like the Ballard Seattle Symphony Orchestra, Wenatchee Symphony Orchestra, and the Northwest Symphony Orchestra, and here soon, your Mid-Columbia Symphony. I wouldn't have believed that. And neither would many in the community that I was raised in. In no other country would my story even be possible. When my parents came into this country, they came as migrant farm workers. And with only the clothes on their backs, with 5 children, our father's motivation to immigrate to the United States was because he did not believe that he could provide a decent life for his wife and his children in Mexico. Just like so many of our citizens, great-grandparents and grandparents did in the 18 to 1900s, my father believed in a vision for his family. And it is because of that knowledge that I owe my being to the very existence of the United States. My status as a child of immigrants has defined me as an American more than any aspect of my background. My family stories are worth telling, just as each of your stories are also worthy. To you who have uprooted your life here, and to you who have moved to another country, and make a new life takes courage, faith, and determination. I honestly am not sure I could do what each of what those people have done. You know, I started this speech by saying that I'm honored to be here. And it is because I am honored to be in your company. What you all are building here in the Tri-Cities is an undeniable welcoming community. And together, growing up, I recall my parents and teachers taught me to be a diligent student, to not just love my family, but to take care of my family, to work hard, to be grateful for what I have been given, and to look out for others, especially those who are less fortunate than myself. These are lessons that parents teach their children across the globe. But my parents also emphasized the importance of participating in our society because of the rare opportunities that American democracy provides to its citizens. Each of us has it in its power to become instrumental to the life of this city or wherever you ultimately live. I urge each of you to keep participating in public life of this country, whether through the simple but essential act of voting, through your participation on a jury when summoned, by running for public office or campaigning for the candidates that you support, and ultimately, by speaking your mind on all topics that are important to you. I believe now more than ever, we need to remind ourselves that institutions play a vital role in American life. And it is up to us to keep them strong so that our values continue to be passed down to our children. One last message I would like to leave you with is please remember how important you all are to your communities. And I'm grateful to have you welcome me into your community. And I hope to keep making you all proud of me as I continue to represent the values that my father has passed down, and as I continue honoring my family and friends in the years to come. Thank you very much.